let's talk about PMS headaches and menstrual migraines. It is well known that women tend to have headaches more often than men do. These headaches occur during ovulation and are a hallmark of PMS, PMDD. Menstrual headaches are also quite common during your period, and tension headaches fall under the same umbrella. Mystery headaches are also linked to food allergies or allergies to supplements. For example, riboflavin is an excellent source for migraine relief, but some of these vitamins need to be pure and have no excipients or additives. So 400 milligrams of riboflavin is an effective migraine relief solution, and we'll talk more about that later. So the billion-dollar question is, why do PMS, headaches, and menstrual migraines happen? Estrogen dominance is a go-to reason. And yes, estrogen is definitely the issue. Estrogen, however, does not operate in isolation. Estrogen is a key player, the main character, if you will, in this saga. The supporting actors when estrogen is high are serotonin, histamine, prolactin, cortisol, adrenaline, to name but a few. As we have stated, women get migraines more often than men do. What happens is estrogen suppresses the monoamino oxidase, especially the A form, so MAO-A, which is more active in detoxifying serotonin, and at the same time increases the enzyme that govern the rate at which serotonin is being produced. The excesses of serotonin cause the veins and the capillaries of the pia mater to become engorged with blood, whereas circulation to the brain is drastically reduced. So visual sensations and discomfort associated with migraines are most likely caused by the arterial constriction, whereas the unbearable pain is caused by the engorged veins. The pia mater is a delicate innermost membrane that envelops the brain and the spinal cord. It is a very thin membrane, so rapid filling of blood creates the unbearable pulsing pain and pressure that is characteristic to migraines. What can be done to do away with PMS headaches and menstrual migraines? One of the most effective anti-estrogens on the market is a good old faithful over-the-counter aspirin. Aspirin is known as an aromatase inhibitor and is now recommended by physicians for dealing with preeclampsia. You can Google it and get all the information you need pertaining to that. So what is aromatase? Aromatase is also called estrogen synthetase or estrogen synthase, and it is an enzyme responsible for the key step in the biosynthesis or making of estrogen. In decreasing the synthesis or making of estrogen, effectively decreases the level of serotonin, thereby decreasing the incidence of headaches. Hormones have their role. Excesses of hormones or deficiencies of hormones create problems with regards to PMS, PMDD, dysmenorrhea, menorrhagia, preeclampsia, PCOS, PMDD, postpartum depression, and you can blame estrogen for everything. So what aspirin does, it decreases estrogen levels and makes for a better menstrual cycle. Keeping blood sugar stable is the best thing you can do to stave off estrogen dominance. You need to eat regularly, you need to eat well-balanced meals, you need to fuel your body appropriately. So spending the whole day not eating and then suddenly having a big meal is going to create a lot of issues. You also need adequate amounts of salt and sugar. Salt is a key factor in regulating blood pressure, and salt is also responsible for pushing sugar into the cells. Salt is essential to blood sugar maintenance. As we all know, sugar is your body's preferred source of energy. Sugar and salt both regulate blood pressure. And when you regulate your blood pressure, it is neither too high or too low. It is just perfect. Sugar and salt bring down cortisol, bring down adrenaline, bring down estrogen, bring down serotonin, and bring down histamine. And these we know are stress hormones. As we have discussed, bringing down the excesses of stress hormones will definitely have a positive effect in bringing down the incidence of PMS headaches. Increasing carbon dioxide circulation is another effective anti-estrogen and anti-serotonin measure. And the simplest way you can do this is by drinking a bottle of Mexi Coke. That's my preferred Coca-Cola. It's very refreshing, especially on a hot day. The sugar in the Coke and the carbon dioxide have a wonderful effect of decreasing the negative hormones we've been talking about, like adrenaline and cortisol, and thereby giving you a sense of well-being. Another suitable solution is ice cream. Now, I'm not saying you need to eat a whole tub. Usually, the recommended is 2/3 of a cup. So again, it's got sugar, it's got cream, it's got fat, and all these are anti-inflammatories, which will definitely help you feel better. And it's also a way of fueling your body because low blood sugar, as we all know, makes you feel woozy and not so great. And sometimes you're just hungry and that's why you have a headache. The other amazing thing that works excellently is orange juice. Oranges and fruit are high in minerals and like potassium, magnesium, manganese, and these things are central to your well-being because minerals run hormones. And oftentimes, it's not that you have a hormonal problem as much as you have a mineral deficiency. Orange juice is high in potassium. Just add a little bit of salt to balance out the potassium. And while you're drinking your orange juice, you can have it with an aspirin and you will find that it will give you much needed relief. Another way to deal with serotonin and estrogen excesses is by using caffeine. Caffeine is fantastic, and coffee is well known for having a high incidence of caffeine, and coffee is an adaptogen with vitamin-like qualities. Coffee comes jam-packed with magnesium and caffeine and manganese and B vitamins. Other sources of caffeine are black tea. Personally, I prefer fermented black tea. Cocoa is also rich in caffeine. I enjoy my fermented black tea over ice with honey and lemon, and I add a pinch of salt. You could say I have a love affair with salt and sugar. So these options I'm giving you, you don't necessarily have to do each one. Just pick one that works for you, either a Coke with aspirin, you can have some ice cream with aspirin, or you can have coffee with milk and sugar with an aspirin and with a hint of salt, if that works for you. The effect of caffeine is that it is a vasoconstrictor, and caffeine provides headache relief. As we mentioned earlier, the veins and the capillaries of the pia mater fill with blood, meaning they dilate. This increases blood pressure surrounding the nerves and sends pain signals to the brain, and this brings on the headache. And caffeine has vasoconstrictive properties, meaning the blood vessels narrow or constrict to restrict blood flow, thereby alleviating pain. Now, the most powerful anti-estrogen and anti-serotonin is progesterone, and this is made by your body. Progesterone is made by the corpus luteum during the luteal phase of your menstrual cycle. Progesterone increases the activity of monoamino oxidase-A that we mentioned earlier and exerts anti-serotonin effects on blood vessels and neurons, thereby boosting serotonin detox. At ovulation, roughly 14 to 16 days into your cycle, the egg is released from the egg sac and travels down the fallopian tube and into your uterus, and you begin the process of creating space for carrying a baby. Once the egg is released, then you are left with a group of cells called the corpus luteum. and it's from the corpus luteum that progesterone is made. Many women tend to struggle in this phase because they're not producing progesterone, probably because they're not ovulating. There is some type of dysfunction in the luteal phase. So you have little to no progesterone being made or little to no progesterone circulating, and estrogen is running wild with its friends, causing mayhem. Ovulation, we want that, we need that. The best thing you can do, and I will say this again, is a diet that is wholesome and pro-metabolic, because this will ensure that you ovulate, except in cases where you don't have a uterus. We want a luteal phase that is consistent with a normal menstrual cycle where progesterone is being produced and things are moving along just swimmingly. The next thing I would like to touch on is the much debated, the much discussed, the much maligned carrot salad, which was originated by Peat, PhD. I personally have been eating this salad for 13 years. I have eaten every manner of carrot imaginable, from red to purple to yellow to white. I have created versions of this carrot salad beyond human imagination because I eat this salad daily to keep things going, and I swear by it. I was introduced to this salad by my mentor, Nettle Leaf, PhD, and she's also the one who introduced me to Peat and literally saved my life because I had periods from hell. From the clots to the headaches to excruciating pain to PMS, it was hell on earth. And as anybody who's gone through this knows. So the function of the salad is to help in elimination. The liver is a primary detox agent in your body. And your bladder and your bowels eliminate toxins, you know what I mean. Eating the carrot salad, you add some salt, some sugar, or a little bit of honey or olive oil or lemon juice and vinegar. Whichever one works best for you. It's a combination. And this is a way of cleansing the bowels. And in cleansing the bowels, regularly you excrete estrogen. And when it goes out, it keeps you balanced and keeps your body in a healthy homeostatic state. Don't argue with me, and it is what it is. As we have discussed, serotonin and histamine are increased by estrogen. And serotonin and histamine mimic the effects of estrogen when activated. So that's why estrogen dominance is not just about estrogen. Of special interest to us is histamine. Histamine mimics the effects of estrogen on the uterus, and antihistamines block the effects of histamine. Nettle Leaf Tea is an excellent antihistamine, anti-serotonin, and thereby an anti-estrogen. Just brew your tea normally as you would, let it steep. I often add salt to my tea as well as lemon and honey or sugar, depending on my mood of the day. You can drink 1 to 2 cups on the daily. Last but not least is bag breathing. One of the most commonly recognized features of estrogen excesses is leakiness of the capillaries. Leakiness is simply things going into cells that shouldn't be going into cells, and things going out of cells that shouldn't be going out of cells. Leakiness is confusion, and estrogen causes disorganization, otherwise known as confusion. For example, simple hyperventilation, which comes with anxiety associated with PMS, is enough to cause capillaries to leak, and this involves many related events, including a decrease in carbon dioxide and an increase in the rate of release of serotonin. And one of the things we all know is that when you are stressed out, your breathing is very shallow. So taking a deep breath and slowing things down makes for a relaxing experience. So take a deep breath and breathe out. So I hope that during this presentation, you got a clear understanding of PMS headaches and menstrual migraines, why they happen, and what you can do to stop them. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or a question in the comment section, and I will respond or I will make a video. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.